ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦੇ ਮੁਕੰਦੇ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਅਪਾਰੇ, ਹਰਿਯੰ ਕਰਿਯੰ ਨਿਰਨਾਮੇ ਅਕਾਮੇ। ਗੋਬਿੰਦੇ ਮੁਕੰਦੇ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਅਪਾਰੇ, ਹਰਿਯੰ ਕਰਿਯੰ ਨਿਰਨਾਮੇ ਅਕਾਮੇ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਿਰਪਾ in the last Adhyaae, Raja Janak ji, after realizing his Atam Sarup, he expresses his in very humble way. He says, I do namaskar to this Atam Sarup of mine who is immaculate and has absolute no desires in it. So Raja Janak ji does namaskar to his own Sarup. In the next Salok, Maharaj says, ਅਸ਼ਚਰਜ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਨ ਸਮੂਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦਵੈਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਸਦਾ, ਜੰਗਲ ਵਾਂਗ ਇਕਾਂਤ ਜਾਪਦਾ ਹੈ। Maharaj says, it is astonishing that even when I'm surrounded by people, I am still present in this world, I still feel absolutely alone. And this is a way of solitude, not the loneliness, but to experience just oneself, that oneness that is present everywhere. So the same way Raja Janak ji is experiencing that despite there is world around me, I'm still feeling absolute in solitude. What it means is the self-realized person, a Brahmgyani, doesn't even have to escape the world. They have already destroyed their world within their mind. So despite even if they are surrounded in big crowd or no matter wherever they are in solitude. They are experiencing this oneness that is ever present. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੋਹ ਕਰਾਂ, ਅਰਥਾਤ ਕਿਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੋਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦਾ. So this is a way of saying that whom should I attach to now? Because when I know that all that is present is consciousness and this sansar that I see is temporary, then whom should I be attached to? So there is no point of being attached to anything. What it means is that after having self realization, the duality is completely removed. And in that destruction of duality, one does not get attached to anything, nor they run away from anything ever. Salok, मैं देह नहीं, ना एह ना दे मेरी है. I'm neither this body nor this body belongs to me. मैं जीव नहीं, I'm not this jeev. So, like we did vichar before, jeev is someone who has uh, not realized its Atam Sarup, who is still attached to the body, thinking that this body, this name given to this body is myself. That's what the jeev is. Shuddha Chetanha. So Raja Janak ji is saying, I'm not this body, nor this body really belongs to me, nor I am this jeev. I am this awareness, this consciousness that is ever present. ਜੋ ਜੀਵਤ ਰਹਿਣ ਦੀ ਇੱਛਾ ਸੀ, ਇਹ ਹੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੰਧਨ ਸੀ. My only biggest attachment was to stay alive. So to be able to have this attachment to this day was my biggest, to this body was my biggest bondage, because I wanted to experience different things, and I thought this body was me. That thus I felt that I was in bondage. That's why in Gurbani Maharaj says, "Pehla marn kabul, jeevan ki chhade aas." The very first thing Guru Sahib say is, give up this desire to live even. Now, Guru Sahib is asking about a very big thing. We have to ask this within ourselves. Have we actually done that? Have we let go of the desire to even live? So that's what, because Atam Gyan cannot fully happen without having no absolute desire. Atma doesn't have any desire in it. It means to be able to have that same quality of Atma, one needs to have those qualities in them. Because Atma, the consciousness, has absolute no desire, we as have to practice to reach that desireless state too. When we get the understanding of who we are, the desires will naturally drop, but we have to practice in a way that even the attachment to the body no longer remains. ਅਸਚਰਜ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਨੰਤ ਮਹਾਸਾਗਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਨ ਰੂਪੀ ਪਵਨ ਦੇ ਚੱਲਣ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕਦਮ ਵਚਿੱਤਰ ਜਗਤ ਤਰੰਗਾਂ ਉੱਠੀਆਂ ਹਨ. So it is astonishing that in this my sarup of consciousness, different waves have formed. So again, understanding from the example of the ocean, when there is the wind blows, it gives birth to different waves. But it is the same water that's present. It's just because when the wind touches the ocean, it takes the form of waves. Same way, the sansar, the world that we perceive, is actually happening at the level of consciousness. It's actually not real. That's why Maharaj says that it's happening at the level of thought. And Raja Janak says it is astonishing that this is all happening in my Atam Sarup. Man Rupi Pavan de Chalan Nal. So the thoughts are created, and when the thoughts form, now when we take an example, where does the world really exist? Where is all the family, friends, the attachments that's happening? Because the body is a jad vastu. It doesn't move on its own. The physical body does not move it's on its own. It's just bones, skin, flesh, made of those five elements. But within us, the mind is that creates imagination. That's why Mara says, Hukam Razai Chalana, walk on that path of reality of what's actually happening and don't live according to the imagination that this mind creates. So when the mind becomes still, the whole sansar as if it just disappears from within the mind. Agyan karan jagad upjada hai. Now it is because of lack of wisdom, agyan, that we don't understand. Because of that, the mind perceives the world. ਪਰ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੋਣ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਦਾ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਮਿਟ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. But when we go to the Sharan of Guru, when we do Abhyas of Gurbani, when we read Granth, when we really contemplate it, and when we practice in our life, then this param, this illusion gets destroyed. And all that remains is the consciousness. Salok. ਮੁਝ ਅਨੰਤ ਮਹਾਸਾਗਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦ ਮਨ ਰੂਪੀ ਪਵਨ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਦ ਵਪਾਰੀ ਜੀਵ ਦੀ ਜਗਤ ਰੂਪ ਕਿਸ਼ਤੀ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਭਾਗ ਨਾਲ ਨਸ਼ਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. So here Maharaj explains that the jeev, we all are like a vapari, a merchant. So what does a merchant does? Like they take benefit of things. Same way we are here to take benefit of something. And that benefit is the self realization. We are here to realize the ultimate truth. ਜਗਤ ਰੂਪੀ ਕਿਸ਼ਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਰ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਕਰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਚੰਗੇ ਭੈੜੇ ਫਲ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਹੈ. So in that, because we don't have the gyan, we do actions based on from a very self-centered nature. We want to do good so that we can get good in return. But Gurbani says do actions in a way without having any desires. By all means, you have to continue doing actions, but do in nishkamta. Have absolute no desire of whatever the consequence is going to be. ਜਦ ਮਨ ਰੂਪੀ ਪਵਨ ਭਾਵ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਸੰਕਲਪ ਵਿਕਲਪ ਸਮਾਪਤ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਨ. And when the mind stops wandering around. So how the mind works is the mind creates an intention, a desire, a goal, or a vision. That's called a resolution as well. So the mind creates a resolution, and then the mind creates, after creating the resolution, the mind creates the mind creates resolution, and then at the same time, mind contradicts itself. So it is all happening at the mind level. A thought comes that I'm going to do this, I'm going to chase this thing, I'm going to have this resolution. And then another thought comes that, what if this happens? So this is constantly happening in the mind. But Mara says when the Atam Gyan happens, when the Param, when we understand that this is actually happening at mind level, and when we understand who we really are, the mind becomes still. And Mara says, let go of this constant sankalp, constant intention to set this intention of something, and then the doubt about it, this debate that you do internally. Maharaj is saying, let go of this because this is the cause of your dukkha. And then all the palekha, illusion will get destroyed. ਸਲੋਕ ਅਸਚਰਜ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਨੰਤ ਮਹਾਸਾਗਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀਵ ਰੂਪੀ ਤਰੰਗਾਂ ਸੁਭਾਵ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ. So according to the different qualities, the thoughts are uh, formed. So based on that's why we say that what we eat actually gives the thoughts, the quality of the thoughts are described by what we eat, what we are listening to, whatever the information we are sending through the senses. That's why in the beginning it said to do sangat of sadhajan of Gursikh, so that you're actually absorbing the information that is going to remove the mal. So first of all, it is important to be around those people who you are getting some good information being perceived through. So so that then the thoughts can change as well. So Mara says it's astonishing that these different thoughts, they are just debating with each other. Actually, the world outside is just still. It's just doing what it's meant to do. But the thought at thought level, these different various thoughts are striking with each other and they are playing with each other. And when the thoughts disappear, what happens? The consciousness remains. So I was reading somewhere as well that it said that when you have realized what your Atam Sarup is, what difference does it make if there are waves there? What difference does it matter to the ocean that there are waves or bubbles in it? Because the ocean knows it is the water. Same way, when you know, when you have experienced your Atam Sarup, it does not matter if there are thoughts or there are absolute Sonasama, there is a thoughtless state. There is no difference. That's why a Brahmgyani doesn't chase one thing. They don't even chase to be in a thoughtless state because to them there is no difference between thought or without thought as well. Maharaj Kirpa, we will start third Adhyaae as well. So in this Adhyaae, third Adhyaae, Ashtavakra ji now is going to test Raja Janak. Because Raja Janak has expressed his experience, he has shared his experience, Raja Ashtavakraji now is going to give answers. So he's going to question things, but he's at the same time, these questions are going to give answers too. So he's going to do continuous description of giving answers, but in a manner of as if he's asking questions. So at the same time, he's going to describe the qualities of a Brahmgyani, a self-realized person. Salok. Raja Ashtavakra ji ne puchya, so Ashtavakra ji asked, ਅਵਿਨਾਸ਼ੀ ਆਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਯਥਾਰਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਆਤਮ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਅਤੇ ਧੀਰਜਵਾਨ ਦੀ ਧਨ ਕਮਾਉਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਿਲਚਸਪੀ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਭਾਵ ਕਿਉਂ? So Ashtavakraji says that since you have expressed that you have understood, you have realized your Atam Sarup, and you are you have so much patience in you, then how come you're still so much interested in earning so much? You're still, because Raja Janakji is still a Raja, right? So he's still in that Raj Gaddi, he's sitting on his throne, he's still doing all those things. So in a question way, Ashtavakra says, if you have realized yourself, how come you're so still interested in this Rajpog? Why, how come you still want to be a king? ਆਤਮ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਵੈ ਤੋਂ ਸਿਵਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਤੇ ਇਸੇ ਚੇਤਨਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿਚਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਧਨ ਸੰਪੇ ਮਾਇਆ ਸੰਚਿਆ ਅੰਤੇ ਦੁਖਦਾਈ। So, because Ashtavakra ji is saying this, because a self realized person knows that whatever is happening, all these padarth of Maya, they are temporary. So, for them, they don't show any interest in the outward world anymore. So next, the in as we do vichar in the further salok, we will find out how a Brahmgyani then lives in the world. So Raja Janakji is questioning that when you already know everything is so temporary, why are you still chasing all these things? Salok, ਅਫਸੋਸ ਕਿ ਆਤਮ ਅਗਿਆਨ ਕਾਰਨ ਵਿਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਭਰਮ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ। That it is astonishing that unfortunately it is because of the lack of wisdom that we think that we are getting sukh from the outworld, the things, ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਸਕਤੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, and then we get attached to it because we think these things in the outward world are permanent. We become attached to it, but the moment you have this realization that nothing is actually whatever I'm experiencing it is, it's all temporary, then the whole param, the illusion gets destroyed. Just like how, through the example of an oyster, when we look at the oyster from a distance and we think there is some kind of silver coin sitting in there, but when someone tells us or we go closer to the oyster, we realize there was no silver in it. Same way, when we are engaging in the world, we think the things we are looking at, these different things that are, you know, for us to indulge in, we think they are actually real. But we have done vichar of this as well. The reason we experience sukh after having something is because the mind has become still. And the moment the mind has become still, the sukh we experience is of Atma. But because we don't know, we don't talk about this, we don't do take any vidya, we don't read, we don't understand Gurbani. We just do part and we think something is magical is going to happen. But because we don't do vichar of the truth, we think we are getting sukh from the outwardly world. But the truth is that sukh, that peace we are feeling is actually happening because of the consciousness. ਸੋ ਸਲੋਕ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇਹ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਤਰੰਗਾ ਵਾਂਗ ਸਾਗਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ, ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਵਾਂਗ ਦੌੜਦਾ ਹੈ। So Ashtavakra ji says that everything is happening, the thoughts are being formed at the level of consciousness, but you, the awareness, is ever present. So why are you chasing that which has absolute um, no strong, firm, tangible sense into it? You're just chasing your thoughts in a way that is going to get destroyed. There, it has no. We don't know where the thoughts come from. We all we know is it takes birth from the. It rises within this consciousness. But why are you chasing all these things then? Salok. ਇਹ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਕਿ ਆਤਮਾ ਸਵੈ ਸ਼ੁੱਧ ਚੇਤਨ ਸਰੂਪ ਅਤੇ ਅਤ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਹੈ, ਤੂੰ ਨੇੜੇ ਵਾਲੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਸਕਤ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਮਲੀਨਤਾ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। So Ashtavakra ji is saying, despite knowing this very well, that the Atma, your real Sarup, is this awareness, and this awareness has no desire in it, yet you are attracted towards the things that are right in front of you. How, why would you have a choice here to not make your mind chase these temporary things. Yet you are still attached to the things that you perceive through your eyes, the things that you listen through your ears, very well knowing that your actual Sarup has no desire in it. It is the mind that is running after the things still. So it means your mind still hasn't become still in the Atam Avastha. Salok. ਆਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਭੂਤਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਭੂਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਤਮਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਵੀ ਮੁਨੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਨ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਤਮ ਰਾਮ ਰਵਿਆ ਸਭ ਅੰਤਰ, ਸਾਰੇ ਭੂਤਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਤਮਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਸਗਲ ਸਮਗਰੀ ਜਾ ਕਾ ਤਨਾ। ਸਾਰੇ ਭੂਤ ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਹਨ ਅਰਥਾਤ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ। ਇਸ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰੱਸੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੱਪ ਕਲਪਿਤ ਹੈ, ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਭੂਤ ਵੀ, ਸਾਰੇ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਵੀ ਆਤਮਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਲਪਿਤ ਹਨ, ਅਰਥਾਤ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। So, with that example of that, when we look at a rope, first, we think that it is a snake. Then someone gives us the information that hang on, this is not a snake. It is just a rope. So the fear naturally instantly drops there. Same way, all these desires, they are imaginations happening because of the mind within consciousness. It means there is absolute, they are actually not real. It's happening within your mind. So this is something that a Gyani knows. That is the difference between a Brahmagyani and us, or an Agyani. Because a Brahmagyani knows, that's why he doesn't chase anything anymore. ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਵਿਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੇਪਨ ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਕਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। So Ashtavakra ji is saying to Janak that after knowing this very well, still if a gyani who has realized the truth, he's still doing these, chasing these things, then it is very bizarre thing to do when you very well know how temporary this is. So in again a very questionable manner, Ashtavakra ji is asking Raja Janak, and in fact all of us, that if you have realized yourself, then how come you're still chasing all these things, very well knowing how temporary they are? ਸਲੋਕ। ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪਰਮ ਅਦਵੈਤ ਦੀ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਥਾਪਿਤ ਮੋਖ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਯਤਨਸ਼ੀਲ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਕਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਸ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਭੋਗ ਵਿਲਾਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਰਿਆਵਾਂ ਲਈ ਵਿਆਕੁਲ ਹੈ। So again, Raja Janak ji is saying it is astonishing that Param Advait di bhavna vich sthapit. So if you are doing abhyas, if you are reading Gurbani, if you are reading so many Granth, it is still astonishing that after reading so much, after doing so much vichar, contemplation, if you have experienced your Atam Sarup, then how come you're still so much captivated by desires? That's why it says that desire ultimately calm, the desires are the biggest test in Brahm Avastha. Because we did vichar that there are 8 stages of Brahm Gyan. At one stage, the calm becomes really like you have to let go. It's like a battle with the mind, and the mind, naturally, you will experience the desires will start coming in there. Suddenly, things will start happening according to your way. So, that is like, in a way, it's called like a test because it's not easy to win over calm. That's why Gurmat journey is actually very fine. We might think it is super easy, but it's not, because it's not easy to let go of desires. That's why constant abhyas of gyan is important. That's why it's constantly important to do vichar of sat, to read Gurbani and to understand, to do vichar with the Brahmgyani, because there is still agyanta in the mind. And until and unless one can conquer the desire and reach a desireless state, the Puran Brahmgyan does not happen, because there is still the desire of the outward world. So ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਸ਼ਲੋਕ। ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਵੈਰੀ ਕਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਤ ਦੁਰਬਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਅੰਤ ਕਾਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਵੀ ਕਾਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਛਾ ਰੱਖੇ, ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋਏ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਵੈਰੀ ਵਿਖਿਆ ਮਾਤੇ ਕਿਛ ਸੂਝੇ ਨਹੀਂ, ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਵਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੁਭਾਏ ਹੋਏ ਭਾਵ ਕਾਮ ਵਾਸ਼ਨਾ ਦੇ ਵਸ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਦੁਰਬਲ ਹੋਏ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁੱਝਦਾ। So it's like the truth is actually Raja Astavakra ji is dropping a very truth bomb here that we are all entangled in desires. We just don't know about it. We even if we do abhyas of Gurbani, we still are not able to see that there are still desires present in the mind. And what's happening? It's actually destroying our intellect. We are still chasing the outwardly things. We still want, either we want Adhyaae, either we want whatever desires one might have. We are still constantly chasing that. And Ashtavakra ji is finding it very astonishing that you have studied so much, you have read so much Vidya, you are doing so much abhyas, that and still you're chasing something that has absolute no permanence in it. ਵਿਸ਼ਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਮੋਹਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਵਿਸ਼ੇ ਦੀ ਭਾਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ. So these desires is like this fragrance, this thing that has captivated each one of us, that we are constantly chasing it. So it's very important to practice staying still in the Atam Sarup and realizing and then dropping all the desire. That will naturally happen, but it is important to constantly practice that too. ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਮ ਆਸਕਤ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਅੰਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਵੀ ਕਾਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਛਾ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ. So Ashtavakra ji saying it is astonishing that when you have spent your whole life chasing desires, definitely you're going to do that same when it's time to leave the body. There is no way that all of a sudden, when it's time to leave the body, you're not going to be chasing desires. You wouldn't even have time to reflect this, that I'm chasing desires, and that's gonna be the reason for your birth again. So, why not take advantage of this human form now and realize who you are and let go of all the desires within in an instant? ਸਲੋਕ। ਇਸ ਲੋਕ ਅਤੇ ਪਰਲੋਕ ਦੇ ਭੋਗਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵਿਰਕਤ ਨਿਤ ਅਨਿਤ ਦੇ ਵਿਵੇਕੀ ਦਾ, ਮੋਖ ਦੀ ਕਾਮਨਾ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਾ ਮੋਖ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਭਾਵ ਸਰੀਰ ਤਿਆਗ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਡਰ, ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਲੋਕ ਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਪਰਲੋਕ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਭੋਗ ਦੀ ਲਾਲਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ, so that person who has absolute no desire to attain anything in this world, and parlok means that because when we in agyanta we give birth to heaven, hell, sachkhand, all these imaginative things, and then we start desiring to attain as much as from this world, and then we want to attain something from a world that actually does not exist too. So Mara says that if a person who has absolute no desire from this world or any other world, ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਨਿਤ ਅਨਿਤ ਦਾ ਵਿਵੇਕ ਹੈ, ਅਰਥਾਤ ਜੋ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਧਨ ਦਾਰਾ ਸੰਪਤ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਕਛ ਸੰਗ ਨਾ ਚਾਲੇ. So that person who knows what is a sat vastu and what is asat vastu. Now we did vichar of this previously as well, that asat vastu is that which changes with time. For example, this body, the relationships, the houses, the cars, everything that we owe, our childhood, our certain age, our profession, the thoughts, everything is constantly changing. And Sattva-vastu, when we are doing everyday abhyas of the Sattva-vastu, that this awareness, consciousness within us is never changing. And in that way, when we do abhyas of it, ਉਹ ਮੋਖ ਦੀ ਕਾਮਨਾ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਪਰੰਤੂ ਜੇ ਮੋਖ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਹੀ ਭਾਵ ਸਰੀਰ ਛੱਡਣ ਤੋਂ ਡਰੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਛੁੱਟ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਤਾਂ ਹੈਰਾਨੀ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। that even if you're practicing this Sat Gyan, still, if you're scared to leave this body, then isn't it so astonishing because you already know this body is temporary? So, Ashtavakra is questioning that why are you even scared of leaving this body when you already know that just like how rest of the world is constantly changing, but your Atam Sarup is not changing, then why are you scared of leaving this body even? Salok. ਪਰੰਤੂ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਕੇਵਲ ਆਤਮਾ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਅਰਥਾਤ ਸਦਾ ਸਵੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਥਿਤ but a Gyani, a actual Brahma Gyani, he remains still in his Atam Sarup, which means he is constantly still. He doesn't have any desires left anymore in him. ਨਾ ਭੋਗ ਭੋਗਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਦੁਖੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ so a actual Brahma Gyani who have realized his Atam Sarup, even if when they are indulging in anything that naturally is given to him, they don't become happy about it. Within them, they are just absolutely still. If they get something in life, they don't become happy about it. And if something is taken away from them, no matter what, they don't become sad or angry about it. Still, they play this game while they have this body because they know the truth to a very fine level that they can see it happening right in front of their eyes, and they are just still in their awareness, so they don't have any desires because they know it's just a play going on. ਸਲੋਕ ਮਹਾਤਮਾ ਚੇਸ਼ਟਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰਸ ਦੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਵਾਂਗ ਵੇਖਦਾ ਹੈ yeah so how does the Brahmagyan actually perceives this? The world is fine because for a Brahmagyan the world has completely been has vanished in a way because they even if they are the Brahmagyan knows the world is happening at a thought level, so they no longer, the world does not exist because, like we did the vichar, that sansar means doubt. The sansa, the word sansa means doubt. So it is because of param that the world appears to be like that. But the truth is, there is only consciousness. So a Brahmagyan knows this, and because he's only present in his own Atam Sarup, he observes his own body as well. So he's not attached to the body, he's just observing his own body as well. ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਸਤਤ ਜਾਂ ਨਿੰਦਿਆ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਵਿਚਲਿਤ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? So how can that person, self-realized person, they don't become upset if someone does ninde of them. They don't become happy if someone praises them because they are not the body. They know that. So now what happens when someone is doing nindya? They are looking at the body and they are doing that, oh, this person is talking like this. Oftentimes it is seen that those self-realized Brahmgyani, they get a lot of nindya as well. People won't understand what they're actually talking about, so they will do nindya of them. But the truth is, for a Brahmgyani, they are not the body, so it absolutely make no difference to them if someone is doing any nindya of them, or even if someone is praising them, because they know they are not the body. So it makes absolutely no difference to them and they remain still in their Atam Sarup. ਸਲੋਕ ਇਸ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਇਆ ਮਾਤਰ ਵੇਖਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਧੀਰ ਪੁਰਸ਼ ਜਿਸ ਦੀ ਉਤਸੁਕਤਾ ਸਮਾਪਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮ੍ਰਿਤਯੂ ਨੇੜੇ ਹੋਣ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਡਰੇਗਾ? Now, here Maharaj is explaining the qualities of a real Brahmagyani. Maharaj says that a Brahmagyani knows this is mithya. This is ever changing play going on. And that's why there is so much patience within a Brahmgyani. And in that, there is no utsukta smapt ho gayi hai. Now, in normal language, normal world, this is considered as if it's something perceived as negative. But the truth is, A Brahmgyani is no longer a curious person. They have understood absolute everything that's meant to be understood, that needs to be understood. For them, they don't want to understand anything anymore. But until and unless we have achieved that state, we need to have this curious mind. We still need to practice gyan. That's why a Brahmgyani lives according to his will. So their absolute curiosity has been destroyed because they have understood something that is beyond words, that cannot be captured with words too. ਉਹ ਮ੍ਰਿਤਯੂ ਨੇੜੇ ਹੋਣ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਡਰੇਗਾ? So Ashtavakra is saying that why would that person who has realized such a profound truth, why would that person be even scared of death when that person knows how temporary the body is? So Maharaj Kirpa Sangat ji, we will take Vishram here. And Mare Kirpa, may we practice what we are listening, what we are reading about, because this Gyan is the key to enjoy this human form to the most beautiful way. We think that we might enjoy the world through different um, desires, but the truth is there is no absolute, no more Anand than the Anand of Atamavastha. So Maharaj Kirpa, we will take pause here. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.